Hard rockers Pacifier are at the forefront of the New Zealand music drive overseas. These heavy metal kids started out trading licks with hip-hoppers at Wellington High School.
Our musical quest started from a major influence from overseas, sort of hardcore bands, metal bands, speed metal bands. We wanted to be the loudest, the heaviest, the fastest band in the world, and that was it. I mean, we never thought about being the loudest, heaviest, fastest band in New Zealand. It was always like, we want to make music for the world, and it didn't matter.
It's like our perspective was international right from the beginning. Like right when we were at high school, it was like, yeah, no, we want to play in America, we want to play all around the world. It wasn't just, we want to do it here. And it was also interesting, the kind of style of music that we were doing was not, you know, strong in New Zealand. Where New Zealand music really started to take apart from that kind of seeding influence of like the Split Ends and the Dudes and all that kind of thing, where it really started to take a turn was once we started playing in clubs in Wellington, once we started meeting people, we were meeting people from the Flying Nun scene.
You know, definitely seeing bands like Bow to Space and the Skeptics as far as New Zealand music live, and the Headless Chickens, were definitely intense experiences for us, because they were very loud and they were also very emotional, and we sort of realised you could actually play rock with a real emotion and not saying stupid things, and you don't necessarily have to have a guitar solo after the second chorus. So, so you know, those were, you know, and we took that with us when we went over to Europe, and I think people really appreciated it. You know, it was like, it was sort of metal and it was rock and it was loud, but it was a breath of fresh air.
Overseas experience convinces the band they can cut it internationally, and their wild schoolboy dream of shaking the world can come true.
I think we would have lost anything by staying in New Zealand at that point.
Yeah, we got a taste of like being able to actually take it to a certain level, and it was like, oh, I don't even want it to drop under this, you know, and the reason it's up there is because we played and played and played, you know. I mean, one year it was 158 shows in, you know, 1 year, and then it was again the next
like
year, and it was like
near 200.
You know, and it's like, yeah, the tightness and the communication musically between the band can only come from being able to do that, and you can't do that in New Zealand because you run out of land, and that's basically it, you know. So there's never ever been a problem with creativity in this country. In fact, I think it's a really, really good place to make interesting and new and inspirational rock and roll.
Yeah, I mean, I think in terms of a culture, and I mean that in the broader sense, it is, I think, one of the most exciting places to actually come up with something that to people's ears internationally sounds unusual and sounds fresh, you know, but it's important to also spread your wings, because you just can't, there's certain experiences you can't have here, and there's certain experiences that you will not get unless you move from this place.
After 5 decades, questions are beginning to be asked of rock and roll. Can it stay forever young? Can it keep moving? Or is it dead?
There's such an incredible tradition now of guitars